Well, it has been a while since I've streamed. Not quite 2 weeks, 10 days, something like that, 10 or 12 days. It has been quite an eventful last week and a half. A lot of things to talk about, a lot of things that were done. Hi, Buster. Buster's down here with me. I'm just sniffing around at stuff. But yeah, we're going to end up finishing up, well, maybe not finishing up, but we'll add some details to Helen of Troy from Lords of Hellas this afternoon, and we'll likely start on somebody else, because why not? But, yes, I'm here watching. I see you. Welcome. I'm glad you can join. Glad you can join. Very happy Buster. So, sad news in my household. We had to say goodbye to our beloved cat, Little Girl. You may have saw her a few times pop up here on the channel in my arms or on Instagram and things like that. We had to say goodbye to her last week. That was very hard, but for me it's getting easier to talk about. She was over 17 years old. She had lived a very full life, and we miss her every day, but we were able to at least have somebody come to the house to perform the euthanasia, and they took her away, and we'll get her back. We'll get her remains back. And I'm not sure what we're going to do. Well, we have some ideas of what we want to try to do with the remains. Maybe try to have them turned into some kind of gnome or something like that for the lawn, for the garden. Because I think she'd really like to be out in the garden. She really wanted to be outside a lot in her last few days. So we took her outside as much as we could. So yeah, that was rough last week. And our dog, I think he knows. Sometimes he's not exactly the brightest boy, but he knows. But I think he's enjoying being an only child right now. So we're giving him all the love and attention that we can. And but then the rest of last week was very busy. So me and my wife just celebrated our 4th wedding anniversary, so we're very excited about that. We've been together for a long time as well, but 4 years married. And then last week we did a whole bunch of things, including going to the Nova Open, which is a huge tabletop miniatures and wargaming, board wargaming, tabletop RPGs and stuff convention that used to be in Northern Virginia, but this year was held in Washington, D.C. because I believe they outgrew the space that they had been previously in. And we went, and it was the first time we'd ever gone, but I'd been hearing about it for years from a whole bunch of other people, and it was massive and very, very well laid out. We've been to a lot of conventions, but everything about this one was well done, well laid out, well planned. Huge big ballroom was full of Warhammer tournaments, and they had a public board gaming room where you could borrow games from the con and play them with other people, with little signs that you could put up like, hey, looking for players, or somebody teach me this, and things like that. So that was pretty cool. One of my friends, Charlie, was there. He was actually working as a volunteer. We hung out with him for a bit. Yeah, we had a really good time and picked up a lot of cool swag. And I'm going to go ahead and pop the camera over to the workspace, where there's a little surprise waiting in the corner. In the bottom corner, you'll see her. this way. There we go. There she is. Needed to have little girl on the screen. But so I've been using the Chronicle brush soap for a while now, since my wife brought this home for me, and they were there. Chronicle was there at Nova, so I got to meet Will, who's I'm not sure if he's the founder, but he's certainly one of the guys who works there, and he was great. And everybody that came up to the table got one of their brand new dry brushes, and so I actually ended up getting a few of these, which was pretty cool. But this is made of their new Teclon fiber hairs. It's very durable, and they have a whole Kickstarter for these now. So if you go to Chronicle RPG, you can, if you search Chronicle RPG Kickstarter, you should be able to find the Kickstarter for this. There's a few days left. They have a whole box for these new dry brushes that they've made, and I've never used one that's like this. It's almost like a makeup brush. So I'm really looking forward to checking this out. It's a big chunky handle, and I asked, I've never had brushes like these. How do I take care of them? And literally just get them wet, get the paint off of them, and then kind of flick the bristles dry. So looking forward to using this in painting soon. But they also gave me a few more, so we'll see. Maybe I'll try to give these away eventually. But I got that, and then I also checked out their wolf bristle brushes, and these are really nice. I'm looking forward to eventually coming around to use these. It comes in this gorgeous bag with this wolf embroidered or screen printed on the front of it, little drawstring bag, and in here is 10 brushes, and I've learned that the numbers on them have a size, which I wasn't aware of much before, but there's at least 2 number 2s, which are this size. But just look at these wooden handles, and every brush has a name. So the number 2s are Amarok. The 3, so the larger the number, the bigger the bristle head. This is O'Donnell for the number 3. And then we get a jump from the 3 to a 7. I have no brushes that are a 7, but the head on this thing is massive. And again, these are all wooden handles. They're just very nice. They're nice and big for my hands. And then the smallest brush is Jerry in the 000 with this very fine head. So that'll be for some fine detail work. But yeah, these will not be used today. I will get around to using them eventually. Probably when my other brushes are really worn out. But I do look forward to using these soon. Super excited about these. I don't know if I'll get on the Kickstarter, mostly because of finances, but we'll see. Because I do think that their dry brushes would be really cool to have as well. but one thing at a time. So let's get all of these back in the holding bag. I'll keep the plastic covers on them for now. Oop, one of them lost it. So yeah, looking forward to using those. And if you don't follow them on Instagram already as a painter, you really should. Chronicle RPG. Where's the cap? There it is. So we got the brushes. Got a whole bunch of stickers, more than, oh well, some of these are actually from the Ren Fair, but a lot of stickers, more than I can count right now. Stickers are always fun. My desk has some on there. You can't really see them in the frame right now, but there are a whole bunch around. And then my wife and I went and did the paint and take that was being put on by Mental Health Charity Painters. And Mental Health Charity Painters strives to promote mental health and improve quality of life through appreciation and participation in miniature painting and related hobbies. Support various mental health related charities throughout the world. They have military charities and things like that, veteran charities. So very cool in what they're trying to do. I met the founder, Prince. He's, very much into the mental health side of things and making sure that that their mental health is good and that they get the support that they need. And they partner with a whole bunch of streamers who paint minis to raise money and support and awareness for mental health partners and things like that. And I've talked to them, and nothing's set in stone yet, but hopefully something soon will come of that. What that is, I don't know, but hopefully I get to work with them more. But Hannah and I both painted some minis while we were there, and I got to experience the whole line of, I didn't use every paint in the line, but got to experience the Army Painter Speed Paints 2.0, which I have a starter set of, and I've been hesitant to use, but they had Army Painter was sponsoring the painting sessions at Nova Open, and so I did get a chance to experience those paints, and so did Hannah, and she has never painted a mini before, but if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen these. But these are from a game called this one is from a game called Ravaged Star. It seems like it's a Warhammer type game, but this commanding officer of sorts, I would imagine that's what she is. And this banner, all of the base coating was done with the speed paints, and then highlights were just with some other acrylics and such. Really happy with how these came out, especially from the back. Like all of that shadowing detail in the banner and on the skirt all came from a speed paint called Slaughter Red. Sorry about that. Dryer was going. All came from a speed paint called Slaughter Red. And so I didn't have to add, I could go back and add some extra details to this if I want, but I'm really just happy with how this came out, and this will just sit on a shelf. Like I may add a little bit extra detail to this, but probably won't, so this will probably just go up. What is speed paint? Fast drying paint? It does dry quickly, yes. A speed paint is thinner than some of the paints that are here on the screen, and when you paint with them, they coat really well, but they have really heavy pigments in them that will just sink into the deeper areas of the miniature. So like when I painted the banner in the red, darker elements of the red sank into the folds, and it dried lighter on the higher points of the folds to kind of already add some depth and shading into the mini. So for somebody who wants to paint something kind of quick, and they don't want to add any other shaders to the miniature, because typically what I do is I'll paint the miniature with the colors that I'm going to use, and then I'll take something like this shader and brush this over the entire mini, and that darkens the miniature up but also puts dark pigments in all of the deep spots of the miniature, in between folds, in between figures, in eye sockets and things like that. And I don't have something easily accessible to really show what that looks like. But the speed paint kind of already has some of those dark elements already built into the color, and so it just, when it goes on the mini, as it dries, the dark parts fall into the deep areas and the high points dry a lighter color. And so it does speed up the painting process, for those who may be beginning to paint or just want to get miniatures done to get on the table. It works out great. And I have a set of them, and I plan on using them on some other miniatures soon. But then Hannah did this beautiful little owl. Whoop, as I drop it. And these miniatures are not from any specific game. They are from a creator named Mungo's Marvelous Minis. He's also on Instagram, MUNGOS, Marvelous Minis. He has these minis 3D printed, or he 3D prints them and then attaches them to a base. And Hannah saw this owl and she painted this, and I'm really jealous because this is really good and better than some of the stuff I turn out sometimes. But yeah, so very cool that she did that with me. And they go up here on the shelf behind me, up here, where they will stay. Or who knows, maybe they'll get incorporated into some board game soon. Whew, not used to working down here when it's the middle of the day. So yeah, it was a very good day at Nova. And then we spent the weekend at the Maryland Renaissance Festival. And I got heat exhaustion on Sunday. But I have since recovered. Just a little warm. Sweated a bit too much. We have decided that next time we're going to have some Gatorade in the car for after really warm days. So actually, I had just been mentioning about Stag's neck and head, part of her cape as well, to get the dark areas. And that'll take a little bit to dry, and while that's drying, we'll start on somebody else today. Put those off to the side for now. We need to... What were the metallics that I was using? Gunmetal? Yes. Gunmetal. And so when painting, really don't need a whole lot of paint typically. I keep my palette off screen. Just there's no need for it on screen for me. I don't have another camera on it. There are other streamers who do. I just don't have a camera. I feel like part of the leg of this one is maybe still flesh and not all mechanical. I think that's why I hadn't painted it yet. Trying to get a bunch of these nooks and crannies on the leg. And then we'll rotate it and get the other one. One of the things that I dislike about this brush that I'm using right now, it's a number 1 sized brush, but it has very long bristles, and I could try to like trim it down or whatever, but I don't want to screw up the point of the brush. I don't know. Sometimes I don't like painting with this one. It's like the bristles are too soft, and so like folds over quite a bit. It feels, I don't know, I'm having difficulty trying to explain how this brush behaves while I use it. And this isn't one of those new brushes that I was just talking about. This is a brush I've had for a while. I feel I have, yeah. So this blue brush is also a number 1, and it has, let me line these up side by side, maybe hard to tell, but the blue brush actually has a slightly shorter bristle than the black one. It's kind of hard to tell. And just something about the way the blue one feels as I'm going over things with it. Just been trying to use these black handled ones more. Not sure why. Anywho, didn't want to really use light tone. Do I have a strong tone, I think? Trying to figure out which washes I want to use. I think I figured it out. So I have this mid brown, and that'll go all over the fur, and then this strong tone will go in all of the metallic areas and sit deeper in those areas. And probably yeah, that'll probably be it for that. Maybe a couple other areas as well. Actually, where's the soft tone? Let's have a soft tone. We'll do that for the cape. So let's go with the mid brown first. Tend to need a little bit more of the wash. Use a number 2 size brush, which has long bristles, not a very fine point, but it's good for coverage. And we're going to go all over the brown of the miniature. If I get it in other places, that's okay. And like that speed paint that I was talking about earlier, what this does is it's going to put a lot of brown pigments into the deeper areas of the miniature. And dry, but it'll dry just kind of a mid-toned brown. and then I'll go back over the miniature later with lighter colors to pick up highlights and such, because I want these to look a little more professional, I guess. Like I really know what I'm talking about, what I'm doing. What's kind of nice about what I'm doing with these particular miniatures, I want to try to do like a lot of experimentation on these, but because these were kind of exclusive, and I'm not sure how many people actually have this particular miniature. I don't want to do so much to it that it ruins it. I don't know. But so like around the neck, in between the fur and such, it's gotten into there, darkened it up a little bit, but the deep areas will have a nice brown coat to them. And if I added a bit too much, I can take another brush and sop some up. Which is what I'm doing right now. I did get it a little heavy in some areas. I'm gonna take a soft tone next. I hope this does what it says it's going to do. Because this is for the cloak. And so there, the cape now has some shade put into it, especially down this one big crease there, as well as kind of on the underside of it as well as it's facing front. And actually, I'm going to use that on the antlers as well. Be a little bit more generous with the coating though, because I actually want the antlers darkened up a bit. But now you can kind of see on the antlers, hopefully. I'm glad that you dropped in. Thanks. Enjoy. Hopefully your doctor appointment goes well. But now that I've added some shade to the antlers, you can see some of like the carvings that were put into them and such. And now I'm going to darken up all of the metallic areas with this strong tone. And just take the shader and get it all over the metallic areas. Using this soft tone in the blonde hair because it will give it some extra depth. But not a whole lot. Alright, so I'm going to let this one dry off screen for a bit. It's going to take a little bit for all of that shading to go ahead and dry up. But while we're waiting, we're going to go ahead and move right on to somebody new. And here we have Perseus on Pegasus. I got sun coming right in on my workspace. It's throwing off all the light. I mean, it's good for me because it's good, nice, natural light, but maybe bad for y'all. I'm pretty sure the whole Pegasus is a mechanical flying horse. The wings may be real, or the feathers of the wings may be real, but I feel everything else of the character is, at least of the horse, is mechanical. But that's all right. Do have an idea of where I want to start with this character. Can always change things up as we go. So first I'm going to go ahead and start with some flesh, mostly the face, and this isn't going to stay on this, so Perfect. Okay. Get out our first color, which is Survivor Skin. Not entirely sure how long I'll go this afternoon. We'll see how I'm feeling. I mean, if you all like this midday stream, we can continue. So the reason I'm doing Perseus next on Pegasus, I went up to my wife earlier and I'm like, hey, out of this box, who should I paint next? And this is who she grabbed. And so that's what we're working on. Yes, little girl is in the corner. Okay, so that already got a face and a hand. We're gonna go do some green next. For his hood and cape that's draped along the back of Pegasus. Maybe. Okay, I think I shook it up enough. Number 2. The sun has now moved and is off my painting space. It looks brown in this light, but it is green. and his hood. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break. I will be back in just a few minutes. And we will continuing on. Be back. I think you can see just how green that is now. Now we're going to go with more of a green-gray combat fatigues for Perseus's armor. I think for Pegasus we're going to end up going with a lot of off-white and silver, I think. I do like having this natural light coming in down here. Throws the camera off a little bit. But it's giving me excellent light. Sometimes the hardest part with painting minis is just angles and trying to get deep corners and stuff. Oops, shit. Just paint over another color that you've already painted, Eric. Because that's smart. Perfect. Alright, we got some color on his back. It is a green. It looks a little fleshy, but it is a green. Going a bit larger with this next color. One of my favorite colors to use is this off-white color called Brain Matter Beige. I'm thinking it is the Pegasus. Pegasus is an all-white creature, but is usually depicted as an all-white creature. We're just going to give it all-white wings. So I'm going with just regular old matte white. I got a big old brush ready to lay some color down. I'm starting up at where they connect, where the feathers of the wings connect to this metallic this armature that holds them all in place. These wings are going to take the longest. That's fine. Oh, something I forgot to mention when I was talking about Nova Open earlier. One of the other streamers that I follow and that we've rated, Jamie Daggers, was there, and I got to meet her in person. She was helping out with the with priming minis for the paint and take, and that was really cool to meet a fellow streamer and painter. So yeah, really cool to do that. Sometimes the issue with painting like highly textured things is that it takes a little extra time. The paint doesn't always fall into the recesses and such. I think these wings are probably going to need a couple coats just to like really pop. Also, the undersides didn't get quite as primed as I would have liked. Let's get back up top though. Though when these wings are fully white, I think it will be quite striking. Sorry, some of these angles are just hard to get on camera. And the sun probably isn't helping. This is why we're doing it at this time. Because, like, yeah, you're getting a lot of shadow on there. Like, the natural light is, like I mentioned before, the natural light is probably really great for me, but terrible for the stream. So that might be a big point against streaming in the middle of the day unless I install some kind of curtain up there. But I hope this week to be back to more kind of consistent streaming. Sundays are probably still going to be off the table for the foreseeable future. But Thursday and Friday of this week should happen. Whether it's in the middle of the day or in the evening, still up in the air. Maybe I'll do it in the morning, who knows. But I just wanted to get back to some streaming, let y'all know that I'm still here, still alive, didn't die. And I've been jonesing to paint, so paint is what I am doing. There's something very therapeutic, maybe not, I don't know therapeutic, but relaxing about painting. At least I find it. doesn't take it. Sometimes it doesn't take a whole lot of brain power. Sometimes it does, but usually it's just like shut your brain off and just kind of thinking about what you're painting and not much else going on. It's something you can focus on that isn't some of the other stuff going on in the world. You got nice bright white feathers, though I'll let it needs to dry. It'll need another coat. It looks really good in this bright light under in the camera, but it will need another coat. It's very striking with against this, blue-gray prime. Oh, other exciting news. I earlier today made a YouTube channel for Beastie's Basement. So the hope is and the plan is that the these streams will end up getting published there, because they only stay on Twitch for about a week, and this way, if there are other people who want to watch, they can. Hopefully, I can broaden the audience and things like that. I'll probably play around with trying to shorten some of the videos, or either make them highlight reels or whatever the case might be. But that's another exciting thing in trying to build this up a little bit. See what happens. Nothing comes of it. Nothing comes of it. But it'd be cool if something did. Just touching up some of the green that got painted over white. Probably should just wait because it will happen again likely. What colors to paint Pegasus? Seeing if I can find somebody who may be painted. There's... So the Pegasus is depicted mostly as white. You've decided we're going to Kanazawa. There's a bunch of good samurai historical buildings and stuff there. Okay, sounds good. I agree. Alright, so on the Pegasus, it's a mechanical beast, this particular miniature. It has, besides like the feathers and the tail, it looks like there's no other organic components to it. So like Nagano and Kanazawa, Tokyo, then Kyoto and Hiroshima, then maybe a little ryokan trip to the side. Yeah, I pronounced all of that so poorly. I tried to do it with a Spanish accent at one point. Oops. Oh, I bet those parts of the wings are like little jet engines. So these little round parts of the wings up here, I bet those are supposed to be like some kind of thruster. Those will be interesting. Just trying to figure out how to paint this thing. I mean, it's become quite clear to me that, maybe a reason why many people haven't painted theirs. But I'm painting mine. So I'm taking some electric blue, which is a nice bright blue. Maybe that some people just haven't figured it out, or they haven't painted it, so that's why I can't find any references. Okay, good. Mod action thing, okay. I have signed up for Nightbot. I haven't set it up yet, but it is a free thing, so at least it appears free. Try to add some more liveliness to chat, I guess, as it'll automatically post things. So there's a few open areas on the sides and on the chest of the Pegasus. I'm using electric blue to fill those in. I think I'm going to try, operative word, to make those areas glow a little bit later. How, I don't know. Lots of layers of lighter colors, probably. but also it looks like there's some kind of musculature on these front legs. I'm going to go ahead and use the electric blue on that as well. Probably what I should have done before putting this electric blue down was putting white down. Would make it pop a little bit more. It's okay. Always forget to do that. Also, I highly doubt that I'm the first to paint these mounted heroes for Lords of Hellas. Maybe my Google foo just isn't that good. Because the Pegasus is depicted as white, I've decided that a lot of the armor plates of this creature are going to be white. But I am going to continue using the electric blue on areas that look like they could be musculature and such, because I think that'll end up looking really striking. But I'm going to go with an off-white Brain Matter Beige, a favorite of mine. It'll also what's the word I'm looking for? It won't be quite as bright as just a regular matte white. Hopefully this doesn't come up quite well in this light. And I've changed my mind again. I am going to go with more matte white on these armor plates. Yes, it is a beautiful thing about paint. You also have first-hand experience with that mind changing because the front door has been repainted twice. Trying to get all these leg details done. This song sounds like there's cats meowing. I'm looking at all of these wings and I'm like, I'm going to be going back through all of these eventually, aren't I? And going to be highlighting each one of these individual feathers, huh? And that's okay. If I want it to look pretty epic, that's what I'll do. This part's very needs some concentration. That's why I'm not chatting much. I do need to make even lighter. It may not really come out, but I did hit some high points in the fur along the neck on both sides. Actually, I think it looks really good in the light. And next we're going to touch up her cloak. Pretty sure it was this gray that I used. I certainly hope so. And then once I get this coat of ash gray on the cloak to the brightness that I like, hit it with some highlights. This is already a pretty bright gray, but I'm going to brighten it up with some more white. I haven't been this interested in doing highlights like this in a while, so. But hopefully you can see that inner cloak, just how much more depth it has. Alrighty. We are approaching 2 hours and 45 minutes. We're approaching 5 o'clock. I wanted to be done at around 5 anyway. I'm going to go get some new water for the rinsing. And we'll clean off our brushes for the evening. And I'll be right back. Used 6 brushes today. And the first one that I used is this number 4. Use this on the wings and for doing some of my mixing and such. Get it wet.